I'm Loud Esmond here, your host at Steer the Line. Don't forget, you can go to steertheline.com during the regular season to get all my premium picks. For the first 4 weeks, they're free. You know why? Well, we don't have that much information the first 4 weeks, and I'm really into statistical analysis. I have my own company. Well, not my company, but there's a company that I pay to give me proprietary analysis of the numbers. And you'll see a whole grid on the back end of the website that lays out why I'm betting and what the advantages are I see in the real numbers we've analyzed versus the NFL numbers and the bet strategy. So sometimes the line is off slightly, and we're going to help you take advantage of that. So the NFL preseason opens next week, and so we're all excited, right, about betting on preseason games. Yeah, honestly, no. 50 to 70% of the money that comes in for preseason betting, those are sharps. Those are professional bettors. You know why? The odds makers don't have the teams dialed in yet like they will in the regular season. There's a lot of variables. And so there's chances where a line could be off. Sharps, like sharks, are circling, looking for that. And it's something to consider. When you see a big line movement, that is probably a movement that's been caused by a bunch of sharp bettors or one or a handful in Vegas, probably, or Atlantic City, placing some sizable bets that have moved the line. The problem with noticing the line movement, you've probably already missed it. So when you see a big line movement, ding, 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 that should be a bell in your head that something's going on with the professional betting class. The depth chart really, really matters in preseason, and not just at the quarterback position. Of course, you're going to want to know if the backup quarterback, the backup quarterbacks are going to rule these games. Starting quarterback's going to play for like 5 seconds, cup of coffee. Maybe in the second game, he might play a half. Most of the time, your starting quarterbacks, they are too valuable to be risked in these preseason games. Same is getting true for many of the skill players. So depth chart matters. How good is that second and third quarterback? How good is their second and third offensive and defensive line? Are they particularly thin at cornerback, a key position? So when they take the top two out, there's a bunch of scrubs on the field, and they're going to get torn up in the secondary. Depth chart really, really matters. Also, how long has this coaching staff and quarterback and key players been together? They've been together a long time. The starters are going to be on the field even less. They're not going to be interested or worried about installing new schemes. They've already got it all down. They're going to be feeling out the rookies and the younger players. Now, teams that haven't been together as much, got a new head coach, got a new quarterback, a new guy at middle linebacker, new coordinators, whatever it is, they're going to have to keep the starters on the field longer because they've got to know that their communication issues have been ironed out before they take that first step onto a real game field. So that's something else you've got to worry about. And then there's confidence. If a team's been losing a lot of times people say, oh, they need to change the culture. Well, that means they're going to have to win. And a lot of times that means they're going to be a lousy team that's going to go 3-0 in the preseason and then win maybe another 3 games. Because most of the teams aren't trying to win in the preseason. But the dog teams are going to be trying to win harder because they want to give their team that sense, that confidence that, yes, we can be a winning team. Depth chart, attitude, all these things are important. But next week, I'm going to get to something that I consider even more important to all of that. And that is I've analyzed the preseason records of all the coaches in the NFL right now. And obviously, there's some that have never been head coaches before. So I can't, for example, tell you what the Denver's head coach, who just came over from Green Bay, is going to be. But I think it's going to be really interesting information. Suffice to say, there are some coaches that really, really like winning in the preseason, Jim Harbaugh, and others that could give a rat's you-know-what. And that's going to be stuff that's going to help fill in the picture for you in terms of who you should be betting on in preseason games. All right. I am Loud Esmond. This is Steer the Line. Thanks for listening, everybody.